Hey y'all, it's me, the Nosy Goddess, and today we are getting into the business of Tony Rock, comedian and brother of Chris Rock, and what he thinks about Will Smith and his new album. Here's what he had to say.
Good time to be a comic right now.
Yeah, hey, well,
Great time to be a comic right now. Will Smith has an album out, and it's a piece of and he addresses the Oscars. It's a good time to be a comic right now.
what do you think about that? Like, I mean, bro, like he's going back to it.
Everybody keep telling me to stop talking about it, but then he puts it on the song, so that gives me leeway to talk about it again. Album's trash. I'm just assuming that I haven't listened to it, but
Do you refuse to listen to
I
it?
refuse to listen to it.
The fact that he brought it up on the album. What like,
That trying to sell a album. I'm surprised he wasn't talking about being a drug dealer on this one. Or he went to jail and got shot 9 times. He's trying to sell a album. His best work was I'm still a hip hop head. That doesn't change.
so you like
His best work was Bread and Funk.
Okay. All right, so you'll give him that.
I'll give him that. I'll give him. I mean, I'm not entirely,
Okay.
I know people think I'm just protecting my brother.
Well, I
my
like
brother's keeper. That's all.
I like that you can talk about like things and it doesn't have to involve emotion. You're like, hey,
I'm a hip hop head. I'm a hip hop head to the core. This album probably is because I haven't heard anything about it other than he addresses your brother. If that's the only selling point, that's the album.
Does this make things worse or better? Will him and your brother?
No.
It's not.
It's just. This is the saying that I don't like, but this applies. It is what it is.
Yeah.
They ain't friends. They ain't gonna be friends. It is what it is.
There's no.
Neither. I don't think either one of them lost a significant amount of money behind this bull.
Yeah.
My brother might have actually made a little more money.
Well, yeah, that Netflix special was
might have made a little more money.
Peaked up.
Ain't nobody hurting. We all of us are walking in the bank on Monday with smiles on our faces.
Now, as you can hear, Tony Rock ain't holding no punches, okay? Because he said he's protecting his brother. Now, I know y'all haven't forgotten that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock on stage at the Oscars in 2022. And Tony Rock clearly hasn't let that go. Now, he ain't really wrong, though, about Will Smith's new album being a trash album. Now, according to news.com Australia, they said that it was a flop. Hollywood actor Will Smith's new album has failed to chart anywhere and sold just 268 copies in its first week in one of its major markets, the UK. Based on a true story is the Men in Black star's first record in 20 years. But The Sun reports it shifted just 232 copies on streaming services and was downloaded only 36 times in the UK, where Smith's 4 previous albums were top 40 hits. It also missed the charts completely here in Australia. It has failed to crack the top 200 following its release last month and has become his first album not to chart in the US. Despite the disappointing new album sales, Will said he is planning on releasing 2 more albums this year. He also announced a tour for later in the year. So there's 39 comments here. Let me see what these comments say. Somebody said, listen to his daughter Willow's music. It's fresh and brilliant. At least he did one thing right. I agree with that. Willow actually is bomb. Anybody should be going on tour is her. Somebody said, if Will Smith kept the same style of music as he made back in the day, then maybe he would have sold much more. This new album had no good tunes. Somebody else said, the actor has been canceled. Move on. And there it is. I think Tony Rock had it right in saying it was a trash album. And I also think he had it wrong by saying, we're all doing good and we're all walking into the bank in the morning, which I'm not saying Will Smith isn't financially doing well because we know he's loaded, right? But as you can tell by that article, he has been negatively affected by what happened. I believe it's because of the slap. Yeah, I think that this slap really messed him up more than he probably wants to admit. Now, he did talk about the slap in his new album. I think his first single spoke to it. And I'm going to play a little clip of it. I don't know if YouTube's going to penalize me. But just so you can get an idea in case you don't know.
Will Smith is canceled. Oh, you can't cancel no one. The Fresh Prince. Who the fuck Will Smith think he is? And that boy damn crazy how he raising them kids. He is. No, he is. Yes, he is. And I ain't never gonna forgive him for that shit he did.
He's still the shit. He can fit your whole house in his foil. You remember the last flick he did?
Yeah, boys, I know you remember that.
Plus the soundtrack.
I heard he down bad.
I heard he won the Oscar, but he had to give it back.
He don't need it. He the first to win a Grammy for rap. That's a fact.
He put all of Philly on his back.
Bottom line, y'all, Will Smith is whack.
I mean, he rich, funny, and sexy.
Him and Jada both crazy, girl. What you talking about? You better keep his wife's name out of your mouth. Drop a new record like we all gonna forget. He need to take another year and untangle some shit. He only still relevant because of his kids. He is, and I ain't never gonna forgive him for that shit he did.
Oh, shit. Eminem in the back.
Come in, Mrs. Smith. Would you like to sit down?
So, you know, he made fun of himself. He also bigged himself up as well. So it wasn't just self-deprecation. He also put himself on a high pedestal by bragging about some of his accolades. But, you know, Will Smith, he also went semi-viral by talking about how going rock bottom is also the same as going, I think he called it over the cliff, meaning you can get so high on life, meaning getting all the things, the material things, that it's also not fulfilling. Let me let him tell it.
Cliff top, right?
Like you could be too high.
Where you get so high that you realize literally none of the stuff can make you happy. Right. After you can get to the end of the material world. You get to the end of money. You get to the end of sex. You know, you get to the end of fame. You have so much, and then you like go off of a cliff into the same kind of abyss that you'd be scared of slipping into at rock bottom. Right. Where life loses all of its ability to sustain and please you. Right. And then the only thing that's left, the same thing at rock bottom, the only thing that's left at cliff top is you have to find what you're actually looking for, and what you're actually looking for is you. You're looking for you. You're running around. Right. When you like a woman and you like being with a woman, it's because you like how you feel. Right. You like what's happening inside of you. When you have money, it's like, yeah, it's cool to buy things, but it's not the money. You like how you feel inside. Right. It's unleashing a feeling inside. And at rock bottom and at cliff top, what you have to learn how to do is generate that feeling without anything external. You have to learn how to like you so much that you like being alive so much that you bring positive energy that's not generated by stuff, right? Because stuff is coming and going. Right. Like people are coming and going. Everything you have and everybody you love is going to rise and fall in your life. The place that we have to find is a spiritual place where we are good with us. We trust us. I trust myself. I trust God, and I trust life, that whatever happens, I'm going to make happy out of it. I don't need specific things to happen.
So Will Smith has figured out life, it sounds like. So he calls it cliff top. Rock bottom versus cliff top. He says, either way, what you need to do is find inner fulfillment. You need to find the happiness from within the self. And this is something I preach all the time. So I get it. A lot of people don't, though. But with that being said, it sounds to me like he had to come to terms with this, because at some point he had to try to understand why he wasn't happy. Why am I still not happy when I have everything I could possibly buy? I can do anything I want, travel anywhere I want, but I still don't feel fulfilled. And it's because he had to come to understand that it has to come from within. And it sounds like he finally got it. And good for him. And I doubt if he was at that place when he did this, though. When he slapped Chris Rock, I don't think he knew about inner fulfillment. And even when he got his Oscar, he probably didn't even feel fulfilled. And you notice he had to have that in his hand when he went into that barbershop on that video, because he, again, wanted to basically show everybody he's that guy. What do y'all think about Tony Rock trashing Will Smith's album? Because he said that he's just protecting his brother. And that's what's up. That's what he should be doing. And what do you think about Will Smith and his video? He played all these different characters, playing homage to, I think parents don't understand. And Coming to America, he was playing the barber when Eddie Murphy played all the different characters. I don't know who this was supposed to be. But, you know, he has come a long way, and it sounds like he has a long way to go also with regard to his music career, if he wants to be back on top with that, because by the sound of that article, it literally did flop. He didn't chart at all in the US, and he only streamed 200 and something copies and only 36 downloads. Will Smith. I think my son's album mixtape did better than that. But anyway, listen, that's all I got. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm curious to know. And, you know, are you rooting for Will Smith? Are you listening to his music, his new music? Are you going to go to his concert? Or do you agree with Tony Rock and that, you know, the album is trash and so is he? That's all I got, y'all. Like, share, subscribe. Till next time. Bye.